Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. I've already done a few videos on the Antioch, Tennessee theater shooting. If you have not seen those, please check them out. In this video, I want to show the clue that might have been left behind in regards to this year's coming Thanksgiving Day. In the videos I did on the theater shooting, I showed how the Aurora, Colorado theater shooting, the Lafayette, Louisiana theater shooting, and most recently the Antioch, Tennessee theater shooting are all connected by numerology and gematria. I also talked about the Christian connections in the coding, and recall Antioch is the birthplace of Christianity. In the Bible, the word Christian is used one time. It's in Acts 11:26. Let's just read it from the King James Version. And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church, and taught much people, and the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch. Again, that's the only place in the entire Bible the word Christian is used. Now notice the number 1126. That's a lot like the date of the original Thanksgiving by George Washington was November 26th, when Abraham Lincoln made it a holiday 74 years later. Also, the first Thanksgiving was on the date of November 26th. And get this, Antioch is in modern day Turkey. Think about Turkey in light of Thanksgiving. Let's also read this quick excerpt from Wikipedia about the demise of Antioch. As a result of its longevity, in reference to Antioch, and the pivotal role it played in the emergence of Hellenistic Judaism and early Christianity, Antioch was called the cradle of Christianity. It was one of 4 cities of the Syrian Tetrapolis. Its residents were known as Antiochs. Once a great metropolis of 500,000 people, it declined to insignificance during the Middle Ages because of warfare, repeated earthquakes, and a change in trade routes which no longer passed through Antioch from the Far East. Now think about that in light of the modern day United States. Warfare is something on the horizon. We're being given headlines right now about all this tension between the United States and China over spying. Just today it was released that China has been supposedly spying on the NSA since 2010 and accessing email and more without the U.S. realizing. Think about the majority of our goods, where they come from. They come from China and other Eastern nations. Also, with regards to earthquakes, there's much earthquake fear-mongering in the mainstream media right now, with unprecedented earthquakes being projected in the Pacific Northwest. Now look at here, Truth Seeker. The coordinates of Antioch are the 36th parallel north by the 36th meridian east. This is interesting because the numbers 1 through 36, when summed together, total 666, a number that comes from Revelation of the Christian Bible. And that book speaks of the end times, kind of like the demise of Antioch, the birthplace of Christianity. Again, this year, November 26th will be Thanksgiving Day. In 1789, George Washington called for the observance of the first Thanksgiving Day. Notice that year 89. The shooter's name in Antioch, Tennessee, in Pythagorean gematria, his full name summed to 89. Special number, one we talk about a lot. 74 years later, in 1863, Abraham Lincoln declared the first Thanksgiving holiday. And what's interesting about that, Truth Seeker, is that the word holiday has gematria of 74, a very special number to the nation. Think about the nation's birthday, 7th month, 4th day. Think about Abraham Lincoln's speech at Gettysburg 7 years ago. Maybe gematrix.org's down right now, the website calculator. But if we punched in the word holiday, you would see that it has a gematria of 74. And again, from 1789 to 1863, a span of 74 years. Probably no coincidence, as I routinely report, everything in this nation is done by the numbers. Okay, so here's what's next, Truth Seeker. Also notice that that place in the Bible where Antioch's mentioned is in the 44th book, Acts. But here's what's really interesting. From the date of the theater shooting to November 26th is a span of 113 days, or 3 months and 21 days, kind of like a countdown, 3, 2, 1. In this shooting, the number 113 was coded heavily. It was first called into the police at 1:13 p.m. Again, that's a common number in hoaxes. Words such as mainstream, green screen, and dishonest all have 113 coding, routinely coded into shooting hoaxes. The shooter's name in Jewish gematria, Montanyo, sums to 311 in Jewish gematria. And also, on his missing persons report, he was missing from 2013. His mom filed this 2 days before the shooting, but notice what day he was missing from. March 11th, 13, 311, 113, coded into the missing persons report. They said he was 5'8". It was on the 5th day of August, the shooting. From the date of the missing persons report to going back to the Aurora, Colorado theater shooting was a span of 224 days, just like his name gematria, things I talked about in the other videos. But what I really want you to see is just how all of this syncs up with Thanksgiving. And there's a lot of Thanksgiving coding going into this Truth Seeker. Also this year will be the 89th Macy's Day Parade. 89th Macy's Day Parade. So perhaps they're trying to tell us something. As I routinely report, part of the reason that I do this work is because I see that if you decode the stories accurately, you can forecast the next story, such as what I sort of did with this theater shooting. In my Lafayette, Louisiana theater shooting, among many things, I talked about how the numbers 58 and 85 were coded heavily, and then lo and behold, on August 5th, 13 days later, we got another theater shooting, coded with these exact same numbers. This one, however, seemed to drop a clue about November 26th, Thanksgiving Day, the 44th president's favorite holiday. Remember Acts 11:26, the 44th book. Lincoln declared Thanksgiving a national holiday. Obama and Lincoln share a lot of connections. So we will see. But something to think about. All right, until next time, Truth Seeker.